Hey guys, it's Lish from Devalishangell. Today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable ruched square bikini top, and there's no pattern needed for this top. I'm just going to show you how to make it based on your own measurements. You can tie it like this with the top strap around your neck, or you could tie it like this with both straps behind your back, whichever you prefer. To get the sizing for the squares, I'm just going to measure across my boob to make sure that it's covered, and then add 2 inches because it's going to be ruched, so we need some extra fabric. And then I measure from the top to the bottom how tall I want it to be, and then I'm going to add a 1/2 inch to that just for seam allowance. So here's my measurements. I was 6.5 across, so I added 2 inches and got 8.5. And again, I add those inches because I want it to ruche up and still have coverage. And then from top to bottom it was 6 inches, so I add a 1/2 inch for seam allowance and got 6.5. So I'm gonna make 2 rectangles with those measurements. Here are the materials that I'll be using to make this bikini top. So I have my main fabric, which is the cherry fabric, and then I have my lining, which is just regular bikini fabric in white, and then my clear elastic that's a 1/4 inch wide, which if you need it, the link is in the description, and of course my rotary mat. So here I'm cutting out my first rectangle with the measurements from earlier. I'm just going to flip it and cut out a second one, that way they're as even as possible. Now I'm just cutting out my lining, which same thing, just cutting out 2 rectangles. For the straps, I just cut out 2 long straps that are 1 inch wide, and I'll cut them down later if needed. If you have trouble making straps though, I would suggest cutting them 1.25 inches wide. Honestly, I don't even like cherries, so I'm not even sure why I got this fabric, but I don't know, I always thought they just had like that cute aesthetic. For the strap channels, I'm going to cut 4 strips that are 1 inch wide, and I'm going to make them the length that's a little longer than the rectangle, and again I need 4 of those total. So now all my pieces are cut out for the top, so I'm going to put the rectangles right sides together and sew all the way around it, just leaving a little gap that's about 1 inch on the side. That way we can turn it right side out later. So I always sew my straps first. I don't know why, I just feel like they're the fastest, and then I get them done and then I just feel productive. So yeah, so I'm sewing my straps real quick, and I like to add the elastic on top of the straps while I sew it. Now I'm sewing around my rectangles, so I did end up adding clear elastic to the 2 sides just to help it be a little more snug on the sides. But you don't necessarily need the elastic. Now I'm gonna turn out my straps. If you don't have a strap turner, save your sanity and just go ahead and order it. Link in the description. It makes turning out straps 1,000 times easier. For my little rectangles, this is optional, but I do like to sew these little corners with a straight stitch on a sewing machine just to kind of secure them, since sergers don't backstitch. And I didn't leave an opening, but I'm just going to seam rip open an opening now. So I make it about 1 inch wide. This is so I can turn the rectangles right side out. And once they're right side out, I usually take the end of like a pencil, or in this case a paintbrush, and just push out all the corners so they're nice and pointy. Now I'm just going to straight stitch over that hole like nothing ever happened. Boom, beautiful. Now it's time to add the strap channels. So I just take my little handy dandy ruler, and I'm going to make a line about 1 inch up from each of the edges. And this is just kind of a guideline so I know where to pin them evenly and straight. Now I'm going to do my best to pin the strap channels on there so that the line goes down the middle of them. Once they look all nice and even, I'm going to sew down the lines, but you don't want to sew right in the middle because you want two lines. You want the channel to be in the middle, so I kind of sew like off the edge a little bit, and then the strap channel is about as wide as the strap, so just like a little more than a 1/4 inch. Every time I'm sewing a straight stitch on my machine, I always will line up part of the edge of what I'm sewing with something on my machine. That way it helps to guide it and make it nice and even and straight. So here's a closer look at that. I'm lining up that stitch with the edge of my footer so that the strap channel is even, and as you can see, I'm trying to get that strap channel kind of down the middle. This one's a little off to the side, but it's all good. Once I have all of those strap channels sewn down, I just kind of trim off that excess thread on the edge of the channels, and then I'm going to pull my straps through with my strap turner and then just ruche it up and make it all cute. By the way, this was actually the first time I had ever made this style, and I love the way it came out, so I do feel like it's pretty beginner friendly. And just look at how cute these photos and this bikini turned out. Shout out to my model friend Becca and the photographer. I'll put both of their IG handles down in the description. As always, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, just comment them down below. If you like this video, give it a like, share, whatever. And you can always follow me on IG for more of my work. I do offer custom orders, collections, and sewing classes.